Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. Thank you for joining me. Today we've got a mixed bag of all new drugstore products. I've got a couple things from Catrice. I've got some new launches from Hard Candy, sprinkled in a few other things from Essence and Neutrogena, and just basically created a full look for you today. Some of these things are actual new launches and some I've had my eye on. There's also something in this mix today that was actually recommended by a lovely viewer of mine that I decided to give it a go and test out, so I included that into today's video. We've got some new things to talk about, so much to show you. A lot of lip swatches, you will see that here coming up in a little while. So if you want to see how these products turned out and whether I like them, if I recommend them, then just keep watching. Starting off with the base complexion, the first new product is something from Hard Candy. This is the Just Glow Vitamin Infused Luminizer. We've seen a lot of these products lately. They come in 3 different shades for this brand. This is the Rose Glow shade, Rosy Glow. And basically it's an illuminator with a bit of a sheen to it, slight little bit of a tint. And like I said, this is not a new concept on the drugstore side of makeup, and also on high end. We see a lot of these sort of glowy, very dewy type of products that you can use on its own. So I am going to show you how I apply this directly onto my skin. I'm going to show you half of it first, like half on one side, and then the other half is going to be completely bare so you can actually see. But I am going to show you a demo of me applying this. The rosy tint actually is a lot deeper when I applied it than I thought it would be based off of the pictures that I saw online on the Hard Candy website, also available through Walmart. And I thought that the color was going to be just a little bit softer and lighter, but this actually had quite a bit of a tint. So there's a bit of a color base to this and not just the luminizing effect of the shimmer. And so this is something that you can use on its own as I'm showing you here today, but you most certainly could mix this into your foundation, mix it into your skincare. You can add it to a liquid bronzer and put it all over your face, chest, arms, your neck for the summertime if you have like some exposed skin and you want a bit of glow. I'm sure you've done that before with something like this, but I thought I'd give it a try. In case you are curious about this product, if you've seen it, or if you just like Hard Candy and you want to keep up with the know of what's new, I decided to try it. Not that I personally need to have something like this in my collection because I do have lots of glowy products. Now the product itself comes out rather on the thick side. I'll show you a swatch of it, but I do like the packaging. I think it looks really nice and just a little bit more elevated than what I thought for Hard Candy, being that it's one of the more cheaper products and brands at Walmart. I like the pump and it comes out really nicely. You just kind of dispense it. I use one pump. So I'm going to show you what that looks like on half of my face, and I'm comparing both sides so you can kind of see what it looks like. Nothing on the skin, just skincare, and then the product applies. So you can see that it does actually add a tint. And of course I am going to go ahead and even both sides out because I don't want to look kind of weird and uneven. So as far as this product, I do think that it adds quite a bit of glow. I don't think that this style of product is for everyone, whether it's from drugstore side or the high-end side of makeup. It depends on your personal needs. If you have very oily skin, I'm pretty sure you stay away from products that are this glowy and luminous and anything that has a luminizer in the name. I do think it's pretty. Is it unique? Is it something groundbreaking? Absolutely not. I do think that there are other options that you could choose from that are maybe a little softer, a little lighter. And of course, it just depends also on the tone that you choose in this product and how much you use. So this was just okay for me. I may try it in the summer months on my décolleté and maybe my shoulders and see how that looks. And I'm also kind of curious to see how this would be mixed into a more matte foundation that has a more flat look to the skin. I think I may enjoy adding that. As far as it right now, I have it underneath a drugstore foundation. And I do think it looks really pretty. As you can see right now, this is the whole face with everything applied. And I do think that it looks really nice. So far, it has not broken down the foundation and I'm not as glowy. Granted, this has only been on my face for maybe close to 2 hours at this point. I did take a pause to go eat lunch with my kids. So yeah, I just feel like it looks pretty. It's not as glowy after the foundation has been put on top, which is great for me because I do have that combo oily skin. But I think that someone with more dry skin may want to add this into their foundation just to add that more glowy, dewy, kind of more hydrated look to the skin. But so far, it's okay for me. It's not something that completely blew me away and wowed me from the start, but I will continue using it. Then, of course, I'm on this train of grippy primers, and of course, I had to try the one from Catrice. This is the Aqua Splash Grip Primer. This is a hydrating version of a grippy primer that's supposed to not only grip makeup, but also give you some hydration. And on the back, it says it's a primer for strong makeup grip, refreshing and hydrating with 5% glycerin and hyaluronic acid. So before makeup application, allow to set for 1 minute to achieve the gripping effect. I do like that there is some hydrating and skincare benefits to this. So the hyaluronic acid is going to attract moisture to the skin and give you a little bit more of a hydrated look to the skin, as well as the 5% glycerin. It is one of those ingredients that's used in a lot of skincare based products. So you will see that in the list of ingredients. And I'm skimming it. The ingredients are actually printed on the back of the tube, which is great. It has fragrance at the bottom, and as you may see in the demo, I'm kind of trying to figure it out, kind of that look on my face where I'm trying to discern what the scent is. And for some reason, it kind of comes off like a little bit of a kind of fruity, almost watermelon scent, but there is cucumber in the ingredient list, so maybe like a little bit of a cucumber / watermelon juice scent. I know that's probably not the best description, but that's really what comes to mind when I smell this. And of course, this has a little bit of a blue tint, but when that goes on the skin and it's blended in, you're not going to see it. It has that typical kind of jelly consistency that you are accustomed to seeing with these sort of grippy type of primers. And I have to say that this actually went on with ease. It didn't feel like it was pulling or tugging at my skin. And as you can see, I'm applying this right over that hard candy Just Glow Luminizer. I wanted to try as many products as I could today, and so I kind of just went for it, kind of layering these two together. Sometimes I like to layer products. So I do think that it had a bit of a slight kind of tacky feel, but it felt much more hydrating than sticky tacky. It didn't feel goopy on the skin, and it actually, when I was kind of playing with it in between my fingers, I didn't feel like it had a lot of that sticky, grippy, kind of glue-like stickiness to it, which I've seen in a lot of other primers. So I do think that this is actually one of the better grippy type of primers that I've tried so far. This is the one product that was actually recommended. I mentioned that in the start of the video. The Catrice True Skin Hydrating Foundation. I had a lovely subscriber of mine mention that they love this and would recommend that I try this out. I think it was maybe my Catrice One brand or some video that I mentioned some Catrice products. I think maybe the blushes possibly. And I had mentioned in the comments that I had only used the actual concealer, the True Skin Concealer. So I decided to add this as well to my order when I was ordering the gripping primer. So this is in the shade 002 Neutral Ivory, and I will have to say it's a hair light. It's lighter than I thought it would be, and funny enough, it's actually the same color as the concealer that I already had from last year when I did the one brand on Catrice. But anyways, back to the foundation. I think that this foundation went over the gripping primer very, very well. I'm using the Soft Coverage F48 brush from Sigma, as you will see in the demo. It's a nice kind of angled brush that is great for applying foundations or any cream-based products. And I showed you with the product just on half over the gripping primer and the glowy product from Hard Candy. So you can see that this actually does have a lot of coverage, kind of comparing both sides. And I do feel like it blended out really nicely. And I was actually shocked because my past experiences with a gripping primer hasn't always been the best when it comes to blending foundations over the top. And I feel like these two from Catrice go really well hand in hand together. So this hydrating foundation has also hyaluronic acid, and it's supposed to help kind of even out the skin tone and even the complexion. And it says natural matte, medium to high coverage, dermatology approved on the back of the bottle. And I do like the glass bottle with the nice pump on it. As I mentioned, the True Skin Concealer with the foundation, I decided to go ahead and use this, and I just inserted a demo here so you can see. The shade that I have is 002 Neutral Ivory, and I used just a little bit of this. You don't need that much, and I used my damp beauty sponge to blend everything out. And actually, it looks beautiful. I've always enjoyed that concealer, and I need to use it more often because it actually is a really good one from the drugstore. It's very affordable, easily accessible. You can also get it on Amazon as well. And then the next new product actually is something new that I didn't know was even something that launched from Neutrogena. It's the Translucent Loose Setting Powder, the Hydro Boost, and it's with purified hyaluronic acid. So I decided to try this. I got mine off of Amazon, and I feel like it's one of those great options for the drugstore side of makeup when it comes to loose powders. There's not a ton of options. My go-to is the Maybelline Fit Me. I'm sure you've heard of it, maybe even tried it, love it yourself. I use that very often when I use a lot of drugstore products. So I decided to give this one a try. It says translucent, so there's no color options. When I ordered on Amazon, this was just the only one that was available. It didn't have a lot of reviews on the product itself, so it led me to believe that this was actually new. It could be something that's been out and I just never have seen this. So if that's the case, I'm sorry about that, my apologies, but I'm gonna include it into today's video because it is new to me. And I used a powder puff, one from the Ulta Beauty collection, to apply this under the eyes. I did use this only to set the concealer, and that is it. And it did its nice job at setting my under eyes. And if I'm looking at my under eyes right now after having it on for over an hour, I feel like it looks really nice. I feel like that powder with this concealer is a really nice pairing that I will definitely use again. And the powder doesn't feel heavy, doesn't look too cakey, it doesn't look like it aged me. I feel like it's really nice. On the back, you'll see it's listed on the back, the directions and the ingredients, but it also says that it blurs the look of imperfections without caking or drying, while leaving the skin looking hydrated. Designed to set makeup in place while leaving skin looking and feeling smooth. And I would have to agree with those claims. So I do like that. So yay for a new Discovery loose powder at the drugstore. There is another new product that is more of a complexion style product, I think, based off of the description of it from Catrice. It's the Instant Perfecting Soft Mousse. There was only 2 shades on the Catrice website, 010 and 020, and 010 looked like it could be a little too orange. So I went with 020, and I'll show you an up-close look at it. It's one of those little jar type products with a screw-on lid. Comes with a little protective cap, and it's a moussey type of product that's supposed to help sort of perfect the skin. This is maybe something that you could use on its own or underneath foundation. I'm not quite sure. I don't have a lot of these types of moussey products that I could use underneath foundations in my collection. So I will be inserting a clip of me using this separately on a different video because I do have quite a bit already on my face. And I already do have a full face as I sit here and I'm talking to you. So I will film a separate clip of this and just kind of insert it and kind of show you what this looks like, kind of blend it over the skin and right over my skincare in the way of using it as a primer just to see what it's like, what the coverage is like, and the actual tone of this as well. Now to finish off the face for the day, I decided to include one of these new blushes that I ordered from Essence. I ordered this off of the Ulta website. This is the Essence It's Bubblegum Fun Bouncy Blush. I thought the name was cute and the color is actually really cute as well. I don't have a lot of these kind of bouncy, different texture, kind of putty-like type of products or blushes in my collection. So I thought I'd give it a go. It was just a couple bucks. Essence is super inexpensive. This is the shade 01, Make My Heart Bubble. And I thought I'd try it and see what it was all about. And I actually used that same PD8 brush, the round taper powder brush from Profusion that I use for my bronzer, and I'm showing you how this is applying. And actually I thought it wasn't going to pick up on the brush very well because of that kind of bouncy, just different type of putty texture that's so different from a liquid, a cream, and a powder, of course. But it actually did. It transferred really nicely with the brush, and I do feel like it took a little bit of time to kind of blend and layer. As you can see, I'm adding a little bit more product just to kind of build up the color. But I think this is something that would be really handy to use your fingers. I think that's going to be the best way to get the most maximum color payoff. It is a really pretty kind of bubblegum type of pink shade. And the finish of it is actually more of a kind of satiny finish. But when you feel this texture between your fingers, it feels very soft and it has a subtle kind of slip to it. Not greasy, not oily, but enough slip to where you can actually blend this out. So it's more of a slightly drier kind of mousse, bouncy, kind of just airy. It's very different. You have to kind of feel it to experience it. But even if I push my finger really, really hard into the pan, you can see a divot there, of course, but it doesn't like smush and kind of ruin the whole pan, if that makes sense. Like it's got a little bit of dryness to it where it's like you can push it and kind of see the mark you're leaving, but it's not disrupting this because it's not so light, airy, and totally like movable. It's got a little bit of a slight dryness. That's the best way for me to describe it, but the color is really pretty. So let's kick things off for the lip products with the newest additions to the hard candy line. So I've got 2 different options, the lip blurs that are more matte and then the ones with a little bit more of a glossy shine. So I'm going to start off with the matte ones. These are the lip blurs that come with an actual blotter on the end, and I will show you some up-close shots of the blotter. I did not use that blotter today for my lip swatches because I wanted to show you the true color. If it was going to be something that I was going to wear for the entire day as my only lip color, then I definitely would have. So these are supposed to be basically like a lipstick in a more kind of crayon style. So it's a little bit wider and just a little bit chubbier than a typical lip liner pencil. And I really do like this formula. It's very soft, very creamy, very pigmented. And I will have to say what you see is what you get on the outside. So I'm going to start off with the lightest one out of the 2 that I picked. And the first one is called Adore. And I like this formula. It's really, really nice. The color is super, super pretty. It actually is a little bit more of a rosier type of shade than I expected. So I'm going to show you some lip swatches of the Adore shade. And I do like this color. I feel like it's a nice one that I could use every day. But based off of the outside, it is kind of similar to the inside. I feel like the inside is just a touch more on the rosier side with just a hint more depth than what you see on the outside of the packaging. The second shade is a little bit brighter, a little bit more on the fun side, and this one is called Swept Away. This one actually looks a little bit more of like a corally type of pink shade than what I thought, but it's still really pretty and something I can see myself using for spring and summer. And I feel like it goes really well with that bronzy eye. So that shade is Swept Away. So I like that one. It's a really pretty corally shade. And now they also included a kind of similar style with that sort of more chubby kind of shadow stick look. So it's a little bit wider than a like lip liner, but not as big as a lipstick bullet. And it's a different finish. So the first ones that I showed you were the lip blurs, which are more matte. These are actually the Lip Shine lipsticks. So I do like this format. I picked 2 shades and I really do like the shades that I picked out. So I'm gonna start with the first one. This one is in the shade called Taffy. And this is actually a really pretty kind of everyday rosy, slight kind of nudish kind of vibe. It's like a little bit deeper than my lips. So kind of my lips but better, but a little bit more intense, as I said. I actually do have this on right now as I'm talking to you. I have this layered over another product from Hard Candy that I kind of had on and it wore off a little bit, but I do like the shine, how glossy and creamy these go on. Really, really pretty. And the last one in the range of the lip shines is called Dulce, and that one is a little bit more of a kind of warm tan shade. It's a little bit warmer than I thought and a little warmer than what I typically go for. I don't know, I feel like it's kind of like a tan mixed with a little bit of a peanut buttery kind of vibe. I know that's probably not the best way to describe this color, but it is quite warm. And I will have to say that when I was swatching the lip blurs, those actually did leave a bit of a stain behind on my lips. So these swatches, I try to wipe off as much as I could to give you a very accurate reading. So I ended up swatching these products on the back of my hand so you can see the shades. And I kind of showed you that already, I'm sure, by this point, the swatches of them. But here are the colors again, so you can see them. Here's the Dulce, here's Taffy, here's Swept Away, and then the last one is called Adore. So these first 2 here are the matte ones, and then here are the 2 glossy ones. And out of the 2, of course, I'm gonna have to say that the lip shines are my favorite, just because I like a nice glossy finish to the lips. I also like the nice hydrated feel to it, even though the lip blurs are very comfortable. And for me, being not a matte girl when it comes to lips, I do like this formula and I will wear these. These are actually very comfortable, very soft, very easy to apply, easy to use and wear. The actual lip shines come with a sharpener to keep that tip really nice and sharp if that's something that you're interested in, so that you can get it right around the edges of your lip and use it as a lip liner. But I like the style. It's just easy. You kind of just start drawing your natural lip shape and then you just fill it in and you're done. It's like your lip liner, your lipstick, and your gloss all in one. So for me, I find a lot of value in something like that that's just multi-use and just kind of knocks out all those steps into one product. So I like these a lot. Another new launch for Hard Candy are actual lip stains. So these are the Pop Tint lip stains. I only ordered 1 shade and it's called Peach Fuzz. And that's the one that I had on while I was upstairs eating lunch with my kids. And I actually ended up eating a sandwich today. I had a craving for a sandwich, so I went for it. And I actually was surprised by how well this wore. So this Peach Fizz is actually quite vibrant and almost like a more neon peach color. It's very vibrant, very much, it's a bold statement look, which I think is pretty. Again, pairs beautifully with that bronze eye. So if you try a color like this, pair it with a bronze eyeshadow, and I think you will really love those 2 together. But there's something very summery about this color. And I don't know, it just kind of spoke to me and I thought, let me just try it. But the formula, I'm gonna show you a swatch of me applying the Peach Fizz. The formula is actually very pigmented and it glides on like a watery consistency on the lips. But even though it's very thin and very watery, kind of like a hydrating lip product, it has so much pigment and it's not streaky, which is very surprising and actually something that I quite enjoy. It has that doe foot applicator that's quite large, and I honestly thought this could possibly be a mistake, but I was able to get this on without using a lip liner and do just fine with it. So I think you'll be okay as well. If you were kind of thinking that maybe you wanted your lip stains to have a little bit of a more smaller, precise applicator, this is going to be a jumbo doe foot. Don't be scared of it. It's going to be fine. And the color is really pretty. So I also wanted to show you how that Peach Fizz color looked like after I ate my sandwich, and I'm showing you what it looked like. It kind of wore off basically on the outer corners of my mouth, which is, again, nothing to really complain about because I ate a sandwich and you have to just, you know, when you bite down, your lip product, if it transfers, it's going to come off. And I also was drinking out of a cup and I did have a little bit of transfer, but that was what I had left on, which was very, very impressive. So as I have been sitting here talking about these new products, I actually did touch up my lips, so I have it a little bit more refreshed. So I started off with that lip stain from Hard Candy, and I just kind of showed you what it looked like. Then I decided to top it off with one of the actual lip shines in the shade called Taffy. And I feel like that one kind of added a little bit more depth to it and kind of deepened the shade, but also helped kind of even out that sort of faded look that I had on the outer corners, and just kind of gave me moisture and hydration because it did wear off. And as I said, I was eating. And I do feel like this color, the Taffy shade, is really pretty on its own, but it's also pretty layered over the stain. So now I know that when this Taffy kind of wears off, I'm going to still have that stain from this really bright color. And I chose this shade in the Pop Tint lip stain because sometimes when you buy stains, I kind of go for something a little bit brighter, a little bit deeper, so that it actually shows up and it stays on and lingers as the day progresses. And as I eat and drink and go about my business, I want to still be able to have a tint left behind. So I know once this top layer that I applied just before filming wears off, I'm going to be back to having a little bit of a kind of peachy, more bright actually. I was very stunned at how bright that color was, but it's really, really pretty. Something different and something that I can see myself exploring in the summer months. So I just wanted to kind of share that kind of change of my lip combo for today. The last few new products in today's video are from Catrice. So we're circling back to Catrice again, and they have some new lip products. They have the Kiss and Glow Peptide Lip Tints, and they have the Kiss and Glow Plumping Lip Liner. So there's 3 shade options. The third one, I think it's a little bit more of a berry shade. And if you know me and been watching my videos, I don't do a lot of berry tones very often. I go with pinks and nudes. So that's exactly what I did with these. Went for shades that I actually really do like. I'm going to show you some swatches of the lip liners, and I'm also going to swatch the matching corresponding peptide lip tint to go with it. You don't have to buy the two together. You can mix and match, of course. That goes without saying, but I chose to kind of buy the matching lip liners because I thought, you know what? Why not try it together? It's really affordable, super easy to apply, no big deal, right? So let's start with the lightest shade. So I'm going to start with the Kiss and Glow Plumping Lip Liner in 002 Don't Miss a Kiss. So this one is a little bit more of a kind of pale, kind of beigey nude type of shade. And honestly, over all the lip stains and the lip swatches that I did, you're not really going to see this a whole lot. And then I'm also going to show you what it looks like paired if you do purchase the Peptide Lip Tint in the shade Don't Miss a Kiss that has the same name. And this again is a little bit more on the pinky side. If you look at the swatches, you will actually see that the gloss itself has a subtle kind of pinky nude tone to it. So here again is the swatches of those two together so you can see it again. There is a little bit more pink to the gloss, and I do like that. I think that the gloss feels really nice, very rich, very hydrating, very comfortable, and I do like the two together. And I am going to mix and match with the same brand's lip liners and other brands as I often do. But I do like that color combination together, those two. And then the next one is in the shade Kiss Balm, and this one is the one that has more pink. So I'm going to show you the Kiss Balm Plumping Lip Liner first. And then of course I'm going to top that with the matching Kiss Balm lip tint, the Peptide Lip Tint. And I like these more kind of skinny little squeeze tubes, and I like the shine. The color is really pretty. I thought this was going to be a little bit deeper, but I actually really do like how the liner has a little bit of brightness to it, and you can actually see that even with the residual stains and leftover product from the other brands. You can see that lip liner does show up. It's very creamy, very pigmented. And then here again is the swatch of those two. So that's the lip liner and then the gloss. Definitely a lot more pink than the first combo that I showed you. Both really beautiful. I like both of these formulas. The tint peptide lip tints are actually really nice, very comfortable, very easy to use. Now the plumping lip liners, I didn't realize that they said plumping on them until just now. When I did the demo clips of the swatches, I didn't even read that, wasn't paying attention. There is no plumping and feel to this. They just went on very creamy, as most lip liners do. They just kind of went on normally. I don't feel any plumping. I didn't feel a sting. I didn't feel a burn. Nothing whatsoever. So I don't know about the plumping aspect, but I do like the formula. And I really do like these two shades. And now that we have all the lip swatches done, I feel like my lips are going to be suffering today, but that's okay. I wanted to combine this all and just kind of show you all these lip swatches. Instead of breaking it up into 2 separate videos, I thought let's just go ahead, have a longer video, let's combine it all. And then here are the swatches again. So you can see these are the Catrice products right here. And then here are the new products from Hard Candy. The only one that I don't have is the actual Pop Tint. So let me go ahead and do that so you can see a little bit better. Do you see how intense that is? It's very, very bold, that lip stain, but it's very pretty when it fades. I feel like when it fades on my lips, it actually has a little bit more of a more pink, not as kind of bright corals you see here. And I guess maybe because of the natural lip color that I have, I think it kind of plays into what it looks like when it fades. So just keep that in mind with any lip stain, that your natural lip color is going to change it, and it's going to look a little different on you than it does on me and what you see on the model photos online, wherever you shop your products. There is going to be a little bit of a variance when it comes to lip stains, and some lip stains actually dry a lot deeper, but this one actually kind of remains pretty close to what you see here. So I do like that, and I think these shades are really pretty additions to my collection. Some nice kind of rosy tones, brighter pops for spring and summer, which will be here before you know it, and then some just everyday staples. So I'm truly happy with both formulas, or both brands I should say, and all the formulas that they launched recently. So I think by now you probably gather that I do really like the lip products. Now I do want to kind of touch on what my makeup looks like my base complexion. And of course, this is going to be something that I'm not going to be too critical with because of all the lip swatches that I did. Having to remove the lip products and then taking my brush and kind of patting over my lips to kind of soften and remove some excess of the previous product before going into the next one. Taking my sponge and kind of trying to work it, I do feel like it kind of lifted some of my foundation above my lip, and it actually kind of lifted a little bit, and it's starting to separate just ever so slight here on my chin. Again, remember that I did a lot of lip swatches, patting my lips with a paper towel or napkin, also eating, wiping my mouth. So this whole region here is not looking that great. So I'm going to just take what's left on my brush and just kind of pat and touch up my chin, which I do get some oil there, and it took care of that, of course, because it's kind of like absorbing in the brush. So gross, I know. But I feel like it helped with that oil production, but around my mouth, it's not looking so great. I do feel like there's a little bit of oil kind of coming through, but it actually, I don't know, to me, it looks a little bit fresh and not as matte as like the parameters of my face, right? But if I take my brush and just kind of do one of these numbers, I just kind of took down that shine, and good as new, right? I do think that the majority of everything was very, very good. I'm kind of still on the fence about the Luminizer. It was just a little bit deeper, and just there was much more depth to the rose tone to it than I expected. But that's, again, just based off of what I saw online, and in person it's a little different, and that happens sometimes. So I'm going to try this again, maybe mixing it into my foundation and see what that's like. But I do like the foundation. The grippy primer was great. The setting powder was nice. Stay tuned for this, and I'll kind of share with you some updates in a separate video as to whether or not I actually liked it, because I have not filmed that clip, obviously, of course, at this point yet. But everything else was really, really great. I hope that this was helpful. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Which lip products did you like the best? If you like this combination, let me know as well. Thanks for being here, for watching. The description box is going to have everything listed and linked for you down below. I hope to see you in my next video. Don't forget to subscribe. I do post every Tuesday and every Friday. I look forward to seeing you then. Take care, you guys. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.